Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another bite-sized branding show. I'm very excited to introduce two awesome guest speakers. Both of them are going to be talking to us today around grants and what's happening in the market that the government is applying or assisting businesses to kind of leverage and grow. So we have Caitlin and Shelli, each from their own individual grant tendering, etc., writing companies. Caitlin based in Victoria and Shelli here in New South Wales. I kind of feel like we're at the Brady Bunch right now, like looking around our four squares. But before we jump into hearing more from them, as always, I'd like to thank my right-hand man, co-host Grant Tom, also down in Victoria. Are you in Victoria at the moment? Where are you?
I'm not this week. This week I'm in New South Wales, but yeah, I am from Victoria. I've got a lot of things going on in New South Wales at the moment, but I'm back on Monday.
I never know where Grant is, but what I can say about today's show is this is going to be Grant's favorite show because his name's going to be mentioned a lot of times through this show because we're going to be talking about grants. So here we go. It's Grant's show today. So I'll just be quiet and now it's all yours. Actually, Grant, on that, do you want to tell everyone how the format of the show is going to go today?
Well, great. Thanks so much, Bernard, and ladies, Caitlin and Shelli, thank you so much for joining the show. I think what we're going to do is, because it's a grant show, I think we need to nominate how many times we mention the word grant, because I think that's a record. We normally talk about edutainment. I think we're going to be filled with edutainment just because we've mentioned grant so many times. My name is Grant Tom, and I'm a head fire starter. And what I do is I help businesses to grow and scale, make their businesses valuable and their brands valuable to that of their customers. And what I love about today's show is that it's not only just about New South Wales and Victoria, but it's also about being able to apply for grants in such a way that can assist you in your business, be able to assist you in those tight little spots. And also it's a way of the government also just contributing to helping you grow and scale. So I love to unlock these two ladies' brains and their experiences as to where we can get a few more grants. So let's start counting them.
I wish I actually had a counter that could just count them. I'm going to start counting from now, though. I'm going to keep a tally. Let me see. Where is my notepad when I need one? There we go. I'm going to keep a grant tally.
I think we're at about 15 at the moment.
15. Oh, I'll start it from 15. How does that sound, Grant?
There we go. Okay, just give it a
would be, and since we said 15, that's already been another 2. So we're at 17 now.
Right, so while you're getting your notepad, I think the whole basic of the show is that what we try and do is we unbundle subject matter. We're going to have 3 short format shows. Normally we set the clock at 5 minutes, but because we're 2 special guests, and of course Bernard and I are going to butt in as much as we can, we made it to 7 minutes per segment. So once again, it's all about unlocking the gems and getting to know the real knowledge as quickly as possible. And so let the show begin, Bernard.
Awesome. And on that note, I'm actually going to kick it over to Caitlin first. Caitlin, give everyone a little bit of insight into what you guys do over there at your grant writing expertise in Victoria.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Bernard and Grant, for this opportunity to speak today. So my name is Caitlin Budge, and I'm the CEO and Director of Clarified Solutions. I've had the privilege and honour of working on grant applications, tender applications, and business investment documents for the last 4.5 years with my clients, who span across about 13 different industries. And my sweet spot for grants is between 500,000 to 20 million. I am forever learning myself, and the grant ecosystem is always changing. So I'm constantly updating my skills. I have a wonderful team of 4 colleagues who assist me and my clients in achieving the great outcomes that we have. And I look forward to learning more from my fellow grant writer today, Shelli McAlpine, who's also going to be part of this interview.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Sorry, I had to mute for a second. The boys are back in town, apparently. That's pretty amazing to have a team put together as well, and to be doing work across so many different business support opportunities. When you said 20 million, is there any way we can, how do we access that 20 million?
With a lot of effort. Those applications are very complex and often take up to 12 months to complete, actually get a the final ultimatum of whether you are or not successful. So
look, I think I can sacrifice 12 months of my life for $20 million. Let's do this. Let's do this. Awesome. Thank you very much, Caitlin. Shelli, in the deep end now it's your turn. Give us a little intro about everything you've been doing here to support businesses in New South Wales.
Oh, thank you. So Bernard and Grant, thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited to be on this. And then it's so amazing to meet another female grant writer, Caitlin. So I was super excited to see that we both have similar
so excited they couldn't
roles.
Stop talking. They were so excited.
It was so good because, I recently started my business. I was a professor for 20 years, 10 years in the US and 10 years at UNSW. And so I wrote grants for my career, and I've earned more than $12 million in grants for my research career, and recently decided I wanted to change in direction. So being as I was in New South Wales and there was a lot of local grant opportunities and a lot of businesses, I wanted to help the business community and switch from academia to business. And so I've been very excited and in fact had a lot of workload from my wonderful friend Bernard and a couple other people in my networks that have given me MVP grant opportunities to write for a number of their clients, which is my main current ideal client, which is a startup company. And it's a wonderful grant offered by the New South Wales government.
Very exciting.
And it's true. I'm sending people to Shelli all the time. All the damn time.
It's been amazing.
It's so exciting.
Yeah.
I have another one. I'm working on for you, which is So prep yourself. There's more.
Okay, I'm ready, Bernard. Anything you give me, I'll take. I'll do the best job. Promise.
Awesome, guys. This is so much fun, and you two are such a like a bundle of energy. It's great to have you on the show. Are we ready? Are we ready to jump into the first question?
Born ready.
Ready to rumble. This is pretty exciting. I think through COVID, obviously there was a restriction or a lessening, and obviously a lot of people going back home, and it's been a struggle to get talent back into the country. And Caitlin brought this up when we were talking earlier, that they're looking at minimizing or speeding up the time around 457 working visas to increase that skilled migration back into Australia. And we know we've seen this as a bit of an issue in especially the tech space. A lot of tech businesses, trying to outbid each other to find the best talent, and now scaling back because the budgets are just blown up around trying to get skilled staff. So this is going to help kind of alleviate that pressure in the space. Before I say too much, let's jump into it. Let's hit that timer and talk a little bit more around how this can help assist businesses really access the skills that they need. Let me just turn around and give this guy a little. There we go. Ready. Caitlin, I'll throw it to you. You had a little bit of reading around what's going to be happening. Give us a little bit of the insights of what's going on.
Thanks very much, Bernard. So the other day, I received a very interesting email alert from the Victorian Chamber of Commerce, of whom I'm a member. And they indicated that they've done a really significant research and basically it's an article that they've created into a research study that reflects some very interesting recommendations that they're making to both state and federal governments. One of which is the current process around the skilled 457 visas. And they propose a really strong argument that it's far too restrictive and therefore it's slowing down, especially small and medium business size growth and economic recovery in light of COVID. So what I was reading indicates to me, as I have heard anecdotally from my clients, that they desperately need people back into Australia from all around the world so that we can pull this wonderful specialised knowledge and actually bring projects to fruition. Bernard was absolutely right. We have a serious shortage of skilled technical practitioners. For example, a lot of my clients are struggling to find AI specialists and sort of even machine learning as well, and software specialists. So they are flying them in and going to exorbitant lengths to be able to employ deploy people. So that was something that was proposed amongst 39 other recommendations.
Wow.
Incredible.
We've really seen a top up in education. There's a lot of migration on education visas, but you don't see the same in the commercial space, getting skilled work. And it's a real hindrance to be able to then, even, with the next topic we're going to be talking about, looking at MVPs, developing new tech, it's one of those roadblocks to even jumping into that boat, is the fact that you can't even get the people that you need to put it together.
That's been a huge problem, and we can talk more about that with the MVP. But yeah, it's been a huge issue for people not knowing where to get their budgets from, particularly with AI, because and bubble developers and certain kinds of developers are really primarily skilled overseas.
What is a bubble developer?
I don't know the answer to that, but I've budgeted for it.
What is a bubble?
The things that you're going to look at when you're building tech is that it's very important that when you are an owner of tech, that you own the source code. And therefore, it's imperative when you create a bubble, it's very much about having the people on site being able to master the code that is the ownership. You never want to share coding with anyone else. You don't know about the purity of the code. You don't know about the interjection. You don't know about the overlappability. So therefore, you want to keep everything under one roof. And that's why it's very important that when you're doing such diverse work like this in AI, where it's going to go is to the object you're trying to reach, they're trying really, really hard to make sure that they have the purity of the code on in-house and under one roof.
Oh, that's brilliant, because it was an AI project. And she's like, no, it's not a developer. It's not a programmer. It's a bubble developer.
Yeah.
And I was like,
never heard
okay,
that term before.
Excellent. Yeah.
Jeez, we really need this 457 to hustle, I guess.
We do. And there's actually another major reason as well, Bernard, and Grant, you just sparked this little bit of interest in my mind. So one of the other reasons why we need to bring people onshore is the security considerations that must be made for the delivery of these projects, which Shelli would know all about. So they actually have to interact with local servers. Therefore, they have to be physically in Australia, because people put forward the argument of, they can be overseas, they can work remotely. Well, actually, no, they can't for security reasons when they're interacting with the hardware.
That's true. Absolutely. Yeah.
One of the things about Australia is that, we do struggle from a manufacturing perspective in the sense of the overhead costs, but from a technology perspective, we have huge advantage. But because we are relatively still a small country compared to other people, we have to then pull in the resources from elsewhere. With outside experience, with a view to lock in with local culture and local custom, in order to make sure that it has purity of Australia built from it.
Yeah.
What a statement.
Yeah.
Are you the campaign manager for this visa change? They should hire you. This message is proudly brought to you by.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of people come in to do science on 457 visas because, so postdocs and things like that, they work at the university. So that had been my experiences. You hire people on 457s, and that brings a lot of really unique knowledge into all sectors. It isn't even just the tech sector. But yeah, it's been a real problem because people need advanced skills and they can't get them at the university level either.
And is this something that people do struggle with, the application process? Like, is this something that you would, somebody could seek support with from you, Caitlin? Is that?
From what perspective? Sorry, do you mean from sourcing the right talent, or?
Just from the knowledge of the process and putting together a use case for the application for the 457. Is that, or would you like? Does that fall underneath?
Absolutely. So, for example, I know which geographical locations AI specialists are predominantly based in. So that's India, the US, the UK, and New Zealand. That's where we source our AI specialists from.
Oh, interesting.
So, yes, I could definitely put forward some very strong evidence to support that statement made by the Victorian Chamber of Commerce, as could my clients. Because what ended up happening during COVID was they were flying in planes that were chartered with these specialists. My clients actually did that.
Wow.
Secret Service AI specialists.
The second part is that if their visa is not approved, then these people who are here to work don't have a surety and security that they can stay. Therefore, the project is at jeopardy. They are at jeopardy, and therefore there's insecurity being bred from this. So this project is very, very intense in the sense of sourcing people, being able for people to apply, and then for people who are applying to be able to find security within the country. So it's a very diverse project, and hence why I think that the speeding up of this particular process is so vital to our country. But at the same time, I understand that the requirement for the right people to come on the correct way.
Right, wrap that up perfectly on time. Look at that. Look at that. See?
Yeah.
This guy's on time. Just so everybody, check this out. Let's see if this works. Just so everyone know.
What's that now?
Let's see if this works. Watch. I'm just trying something. Okay. There it is. That's how many grants we've had so far.
We've doubled that by now. Sure.
That makes another extra one because I actually said the word in saying how many we have.
All right.
Cool. Are we ready? Well, they didn't say your name too many times. When it's a conversation, you don't just say people's names randomly. Well, actually, to be honest, you might be right. I might have missed a couple that were kind of woven into sentences. I'm going to have to do a recount on this one, I think. At the end of the show.
Don't have proper adjudication.
We need a third party to double check the numbers.
All right, let's get on to show number 2 because I think
topic number 2. So a lot of what we talked about was getting the right skill sets, the right experience into the room. Something that's really exciting is and what I've been working on a lot with Shelli here in New South Wales is the MVP grant. And the MVP grant is an opportunity for somebody to bring a new concept onto market that's going to be productized. It has to be something that goes out to market, but allow businesses to leverage finances or support from the government in order to finance the development of this product. And it's a one-to-one, but I won't put too much details in there. Man, I'm so excited about the topics. I keep talking about them, not like questions, but just doing the topic. I just like start. But I'm going to throw it to Shelli. I'm going to reset this little baby. And then, tell us more about the MVP grant and how that's been supporting businesses to not only secure that talent, but be able to deliver on a new product to market, and where the benefit lies for government, I think, or where the benefit lies for the economy.
Yeah. No, thanks so much, Bernard. And I'm really excited to be able to talk about this because that's all I've been working on for the last 4 months. It came out December 1 from the New South Wales government, and it's about 200,000. It's up to 200,000 that they match. So if you have 200,000 from a bank loan or cash or from an investor, you can then ask for another 200K, and it's a 400K budget. So it's an amazing opportunity that the New South Wales government has offered. And I guess what I've found exciting, I've got about 18 of them at the moment that I'm working on simultaneously, and they
she writes the same one and just changes the name.
No, they vary in huge different kinds of topics. So that's what's been so exciting. So I have some physical products that people are building that are just amazing, and they're looking for manufacturing opportunities. Brand new that would be, and general, these are products that are going to be cheaper and better and Australian made rather than importing them. And so they might have some competition, but they've got so many other aspects to them that they're going to be for a general population group that has not ever been able to use these products. So I've got a couple things like that. I've got a number of services that will really work on mental health. And then there's a lot of different kinds of apps, including AI, which really help marketplace situations. So they engage 2 different people, and they very quickly find, for example, replacement workers. So in a sense, it's sort of like Uber Eats for replacement. As or Uber, when you take Uber, you need to go get a ride, and the price varies depending on how many people want to ride at the same time. Well, the price that you can charge for your services, if you're sitting at home thinking I've got a vacation day, maybe I can pop out and do something and make some money, then this is for other kinds of services. And so the price, you get paid a lot of money, maybe double as much as you would normally make, because somebody desperately needs this person A in the job in 30 minutes. Wow. So yeah, there's a lot of amazing connecting services that are being built that are using AI to speed up a fairly complicated process, or offer end to end. And they've got kids' toys to all sorts of different kinds of activities to employment situations. So I think it'll benefit everybody, not only in Australia, but then globally as well, because all these guys want to go global.
Yeah, wow.
But
I'd love to see the MVP testing for the toys. Like, we've got 50 kids in a room. Let's say see if they fight over this toy.
They don't actually do toys, but they do the toy supply situation and that type of thing. Because toys are not part of the New South Wales government. They have to meet a certain set of criteria. For the MVP. Yeah. And so toys are not under that, unfortunately. I think it's because they don't vote. Like, you know, children don't vote.
The children not the toys.
Yeah, if children voted, I think toys would be part of the situation.
Could you imagine a lineup of plush teddy bears just like going over to the voting booths? It just wouldn't happen.
Well, I think Caitlin's little one could be a good candidate for a toy tester soon. So yeah, I think
you could put her on the beta testing list.
In Victoria.
Sorry, Grant, what was that?
We have something like that, similar to that in Victoria as well.
We don't. No, not at the MVP stage. We have a lot of advanced manufacturing, a lot of renewable energy grants. But when it comes to MVP, it's mostly either federal or New South Wales. There were some up in Queensland as well. But no, not really.
Do you know why? Any idea why that may be? Is there a difference in the economy that might be driving that?
I think there's an overarching objective of advancing businesses that already have significant numbers of employees, because they feel that that's going to kickstart the economy on scale. That I think is the rationale behind it. There are a huge number of startups in Victoria. Of course, it's not indicative of that. I think it's more that they've realised they don't want medium-sized businesses to go under like they were going under during COVID.
Got it. And it was the impact was quite large over there because they were very more stringent on rules than a lot of the other states as well. So
yes, there are a lot of COVID
memories.
Let's not go there.
No.
Please remind us of all the time you spent at home.
Thank you for explaining that, because I was curious. A lot of people had come to me and asked me why they don't have anything. And I did a lot of searches and I was trying to reach out to people in Victoria. Now I know someone, yay. And I guess, I find that makes sense, that you've got to make sure that the medium-sized businesses are doing well.
Stimulated. Yeah.
So
interesting.
What is the process for someone to approach you? What is the best way to approach you with a view to ask? What is the preferred way that you would like people to approach you?
So either send me a message on LinkedIn, so just Shelli McAlpine, and you'll see Grant Writer, or they can send me an email if they find my website. I'm under Business Grant Advisors. So just Google Business Grant Advisors and Shelli, Shelli, and that'll get you there.
Is that similar with you, Caitlin, as well? Is there a particular process that you guys have? Like after that initial contact as well, what's the kind of process from there?
Yes. So at the moment, I predominantly work through referrals. So from other business owners who refer me to someone who's one of their friends who also happens to be a CEO of a different type of business. But people can certainly reach out on LinkedIn to me as well. So it's Caitlin Budge, or type in Clarified Solutions, and you can send an inquiry through my website, and then I'll book in a discovery call and we'll take it from there.
Yeah, cool. And then after that first initial contact, what's the typical flow of the barrage of stuff? Like what typically happens after that first stage?
It's really contingent upon where that business is at and also what their goals are. Yep. So what I always do first is I do a strategic meeting to discover what their business goals are for the next few years, and what sort of dollar amount that would equate to in terms of project costs. Do they have any preconceived ideas of what they actually want to apply for, or do they need guidance in the research process? Because I help businesses research what grant would suit them and they're eligible for, as well as actually doing the application process. And then we go through a process of checking eligibility. Once we lock in an actual specific grant or tender application, then they'll actually engage me more formally, and we work through the full end-to-end process of the application. Once they're signed off, fingers crossed, with the commercial agreement, then they are the ones to execute the project.
Yeah, cool. And Shelli, like I know we've run out of time, but I want to miss out on the opportunity to ask you as well. Is it a very similar process with you as well?
Relatively similar in that they reach out and then I send them a sort of an intro form and look for what they're applying for basically, and maybe their point of difference so that I know if they're going to be, because a lot of them come to me for the MVP. And so I want to see if they've done some of their homework. And then we set up a meeting and it's usually about an hour long and I listen to their product and I ask them a bunch of questions. And then typically it's fairly straightforward to figure out if they qualify or not. There's 2 sets of criteria, hard and soft, and I run through them. And then I explain my process is they engage me formally and I lock in a date and then I write the grant within, because it's open continuously. So I write the grant within a week of locking in that date. Right now I'm booked about a month and a half out. So I would lock in a date in April for the next person coming in.
They missed out. They should have got in there before the the hustle, the giant rush. Yeah. Look at it. We just there we go, guys.
We doubled that. We're close on 100 by now.
Come on, Grant. You just want your name mentioned all the time. That's the problem.
There we go. I think it's very important. I know the show's ended and we're going to start the next segment very importantly. But I think what's important is there's 3 parts to this. There is you guys that have all the knowledge. There are businesses who have heard about grants but haven't got a clue on how to go about acquiring it. Therefore, they go to some government site and they read up a whole lot of stuff that 9 times out of 10 is the wrong stuff.
Scared away.
And then trying to then find how to get you guys and those guys together with you to ask for the right stuff to be applicable. I know more people who failed at grants than they have been successful at grants. And it's mainly because I think they've gone about it the wrong way. They haven't done enough prep. They didn't cover enough due diligence on the government side. So as much as this is a fantastic opportunity that the government offers businesses as assistance, I just think that there's a big missed opportunity in the sense of how people can do it in a knowledgeable way. Hence what the purpose of the show is today, is to just try and unlock the meaning and the how, especially from different states, on how we can be relative to that of the business and business growth.
And on that topic, our last segment, I wanted to give you guys both an opportunity to kind of tell people a little bit more about what your favorite or what you're seeing to be some trending grant opportunities out there, things that would impact the kind of people that are listening, small to medium-sized business that are looking for that rapid growth. Where do you guys suggest that they look or have a look at, and obviously get in contact with you if they want to go down that road? Let me hit this little guy, and I think I'll kick it off to Caitlin first.
Yep.
Wonderful. Thanks, Bernard. So in terms of trends, I'll just break down that question into its multiple parts. So in terms of trends, what I've noticed happening in Victoria, although as I mentioned before, I also do local council and also federal government grants. So what I've noticed in state government grants is that there's a very strong focus on renewable energy in Victoria at the moment, and also advanced manufacturing, which is wonderful and excites many of my clients.
So what is advanced manufacturing? What is that?
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure. So it depends who you ask what the definition is, but my definition of what is advanced manufacturing is any manufacturing business who offer complex solutions for their clients. For example, one of the advanced manufacturers I work with have multi-million-dollar machines in their factory that produce metal products that use down to nanotechnology. So that's advanced manufacturing. So we're not talking repetitive production line, fairly simplistic products. We're talking customized, very expensive often. The price tag reflects the advanced manufacturing products, and they're often sent all around the world. So they really do have a very positive impact on the export market in Australia. Hence them receiving a lot of attention. And Business Victoria is also, that ties into what Business Victoria is doing at the moment, that supports a lot of the grant programs as well, that they're trying to currently connect a lot of Victorian businesses with their international partners. For example, in Vietnam is a huge push at the moment. Yes, and also with the US, so that they can assist in the growth of those businesses.
So they're actually facilitating the conversation.
Yes, they are.
That's pretty cool. Oh.
It's amazing. It's
they
free.
Might not be supporting MVPs, but at least they're not.
So yes, Business Victoria, if anyone's listening here and they're in the small to medium-sized businesses in Victoria, reach out to them. They offer some really great services that are free of charge and can often lead you towards optimal grant projects as well. And then, of course, feel free to reach out to me.
We'll allow them to call you, yeah.
No, they will definitely call Caitlin, for sure.
Yeah. And then Shelli, same question. What I know, obviously, MVP grant is a big deal.
So
you could tell us a little bit more about that, but some others that.
So yeah, I mean, I think because the MVP just came out, a lot of companies have been applying for that. So that's been sort of the main source of interest, which are basically startup companies that haven't launched yet. And then have matching funds. So that's sort of the go-to for that. But I've also been working on, like Caitlin, there's energy grants. So New South Wales have launched, and they're also interested in AI activity. So they've launched something called an SBIR grant, which is closing soon. But I've worked on that grant where they need specific types of talent, and they've got a call out for specific things. And then I'm actually currently working on a biosecurity grant. The federal government puts those out, and they're quite big. They're 200 to 2 million. And those look really interesting. They're focused on getting sponsoring new types of energy over the line. And then they recently put out, the Australian federal government just put out a grant, which is for making companies energy efficient, so small and medium enterprise grants. And then there's a whole list of things that they can install. And I'm writing those grants, and they're guaranteed 100%. You just need to put in your application in the next 2 to 3 weeks. So call me if you're interested. And it's for forward thinking. It's for any project that you want to advance, that you will save you energy in the company. There's a whole list of things like heat pumps and LED lights and all sorts of electrical stuff. So that's, so I'm writing those grants, and then I'm doing the global grants, the export grants as well. So for any company that wants to now have a presence internationally. So that's the main ones. But I'm also writing for charities. So I've got a few charity grants that I'm writing for. I've been hired as their main grant writer, and a council has asked me to look at some grants. And so I'm investigating some of those, and they vary between federal and state depending on what their specific remit is. So feel free to reach out to me.
There's a lot. There's a lot going on at the moment. I noticed that both of you mentioned renewable energy. What's the cusp of that?
Hydrogen.
Thriving. Oh, okay.
No, but that's hydrogen for some. But to be honest, as a energy expert, and I'm actually working, my best friend is a Sydney professor who was working on this type of project. Hydrogen is a very limited option. There's a lot of other really great options. So CO2 capture is a really great option. And so I am hoping, if anybody's listening, that they diversify their opportunities to look at CO2 capture as well, because there's a lot of opportunities to pull CO2 out of the air that is not associated with, capturing dirty air from a factory, but in fact, removing CO2 from the air and turning it into limestone. So they're currently doing that in Iceland, and my friend actually has the technology to do that. And I've actually been asked now by, she's the director at Sydney Uni, and she's asked me to be potentially part of their grant writing program there. So on this particular issue.
I'm scribbling down people's names as both of you talk. I'm like, oh, this person and that person. I need to talk to this person about this. It's crazy because I think we get such a limited. I think two things happen when we talk about this sector. Number one, we get a very limited scope of what's actually available to us. We don't actually know the broad spectrum of grants and opportunities that are available, support that's available to us from the government. And the second thing is, it always looks scary. You look at these things with all these categories and bullet points and stuff, and you think, how the hell am I going to write all this information? I know this stuff for me, and I think I'm answering the question, but I don't know until the teacher comes back to me with the red pen mark on my test whether or not I did the right thing. And I think that just scares people away. They don't even try. And that's why what you guys do is so important, because it enables people the access to these things that are here to support us and help us.
Yeah, thank you.
See, I wrapped that one up, Grant, not you.
Fantastic.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Let me
Now
put
my
in
count's at 42 now, by the way.
Put some last words in here. So one of the things that I really learned from today, and in every show we really talk about the edutainment that we can get. I think we really be entertained, but I think the education that we've got has been superior. First of all, the first thing I get is that I realize what a lucky country we are, in the sense of the opportunities and the attributes that we have at our disposal going forward. We know for a fact that the world is about to turn a page and be able to be pivotable because of energy and because of requirements. And we look at the amount of tech that we are trying to harvest and the amount of new ideas that we are trying to incubate for the rest of the world because of our own sustainability as well as everyone else for civilization purposes. I just think that what a great knowledge of information the two of you have shared in the sense of how we need to be thinking, how we should be looking, because these are opportunities that are knocking on our door that we need to harvest in order to make sure that we are fluent and being a pivotal contributor to the rest of the world. So I've just been blown away by today's show. So thank you both very much.
You are welcome. It was my pleasure.
Yeah, Grant, that was really well put together. I'm going to admit something. I think I got caught up in the conversations and I definitely missed things in the count. I would love to see somebody else get us a count back on this show on how many grants there were. I'm currently at 46. That's my tally. That's where I landed.
238. That's my tally. 238. So
238. Jesus, somebody thinks a lot of himself, don't they? Awesome, guys. Thank you so much for joining us on the show. There was so much important information in there that I hope people listen and not only listen to, but actually act on. If you're in either one of these two states or you just need some more information, I feel like these two are going to be cross-referring to each other. So contact one of them,
Sure.
have the discussion, let them open up the books and see what's available to you. There is, and I think the other thing that people don't realize, which is something that somebody let me in on, is that you can actually apply for multiple grants on the same project if applicable, which I don't think people understand that either. They're like, oh, what's 20,000 here and, or 2,000 there. But if you have a project that significantly crosses a couple of those grant requirements, you could actually then dovetail into quite a significant amount of capital to help you bring this project to fruition. So I think, don't limit.
I just want to clarify. Sorry.
Yeah.
Clarify, just you can't double dip. That's very important in our business. So that's all. So you can fund pieces of it in unique grant situations, but you can't apply for the exact same grant, the two different grants for the exact same project at the same time.
Like chips at a party, okay? You can't double dip.
Yeah,
the same
no
chip,
double dipping.
you can't. If it's the same chip, you can't dip. Okay.
I think you were pushing the envelope there, but I think we were corrected by the ladies, and I think rightly so.
Yeah, awesome. Guys, thank you so much for joining us, Grant, as always. Our awesome guests, Caitlin and Shelli. We're going to wrap this baby up. If you have enjoyed today's show, please like, comment, and share. If you have a guest or a controversial subject that you would like us to unbundle on the show, please send those through. Especially if you've got guests. We're featuring a lot of guests this year. We want to get a ton of new, fresh faces like these two. Wait, you're on that side. These two on the show. Grant, any other last words that I
think we like controversy, we like challenges, we like subject matter that we're not necessarily proficient in, but at the same time, I just love learning, and so therefore, today was a full show for me.
It was a true lunch and learn.
Lunch and learn. There we go.
Awesome, guys. Thank you very much, and that'll bring us to the end of the show.